You ready? Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. I'm ready.
Here you go.
Here we go. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock. That's right, Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Drew's here.
A pig.
A what? And Drew's patient. Pete. Do you want to see Pete?
A Home Depot.
And Home Depot, indeed. Hope y'all having an awesome morning. How about old Bregman? Got him $100 million. $100 million for old Alex Bregman. Oh my God. I mean, Zero. You want to watch Zero when Mommy comes home? She'll show you that if you want to watch that when Mommy comes home. Okay. Alex Bregman, $100 million. LSU baseball tonight against Nicholls. Wow. LSU football had some media availability. I mean, all I want to do is just sit there and count to 100 million. That's insane, man. Good for him. Shelly Nicole Penton, good morning. Hey, Dad, good morning. Kirk Taylor, good morning. Stephen Miller, good morning. James Tyrone, Stephen Bro, Joey Painich. How's everybody doing today? Let's see. Good Morgan, a lot of good Morgans out there. Charlie Cavell, what's up? Chad Dupuy, Carrie Puston, good morning. Hey, Cheryl. Kirk, I want to get paid for throwing a baseball. Well, Kirk, then what you should do is spend about 18 hours a day doing nothing but fielding ground balls, throwing a baseball, and taking batting practice. You do that every day for the first 24 years of your life, and you'll make $100 million too. Or for the next 24 years of your life. Although the ship might have sailed. Let's see. Charlie Cavell, that's awesome for Bregman. Tyler Landry, good for him. Go Bregs. Devin Steve, good morning. Hey, Madison Gilmore, good morning. Mark Landry. Jerry Derigo. If y'all would, please hit the share button. As always, big help if you would do that. Of course, like the Brock page. They're tagged in this post. So, man, I'm pretty fired up for Bregman. It is wild to think, like, so he's officially now the richest person that I know. Crazy thought. But so it's a great deal. It was a great deal for him and for... and I will talk about Belmont too, Chad. Good call. Great deal, I think, for Bregman and for the Astros. So, and I'm actually really glad that we have... Whoa, hey, bud. Hey. Hang on. Ooh. Let's take a little break, okay? Take a little break from that. Okay. That didn't feel good, did it? Okay. So I think really good deal for Bregman and for the... Hey, do you want Mother's Day fast? Come on, let's go look at Mother's Day fast. Yeah, can come with us. Hi, bud. Okay. All right. I'll clean that up later. Probably want some privacy. When he gets up on the toes like that, getting some leverage. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing. Getting some leverage. Anyway. So, hey baby. So anyway, I like the deal for Bregman and for the Astros. I think So if you're Houston, it's very similar. It's very similar to the Aaron Nola deal. Houston could have elected to. What do you want, bud? Hey, use your words. You want Pete? You want Mother's Day? Hey, wait. Use your words. Use your word. Hey, Droopy Diaper. Use your words. Use your words. You want Prince Pete's catnap? I'll show you Pete. Here's Pete. All right. Let's see. All right. So, So Bregman's deal, good deal for both sides. Essentially, Bregman would have had this year his arbitration years, and 3 years of arbitration then would have gotten paid. So he would have had to wait 4 more years before he got the cash in. Now he gets paid now, but this will cover the first 2 years of free agency for him. So instead of hitting free agency at 28 and signing a $300 million contract or whatever it might be then, the Astros having to pay him that then, but getting him cheap now, they're like, okay, we'll pay you now at a lesser, we'll overpay you now for the opportunity to underpay you in years 4 and 5 of that deal. So Astros pay more on the front end, less on the back end. Breggs gets more now, and he has to wait. And this will basically, he'll be making less more likely than he's worth in the final 2 years of the deal, but it's still $100 million. The good news for Bregman doing this at 24 years old is that when this contract is up, he'll be 30, and he'll get to sign another 9-figure deal, provided he's healthy and performs and all that stuff. So he's betting on himself to a degree in that as well. So he gets the $100 million now, and then when he's 30, maybe he signs up. Considering inflation, what contracts may look like, let's say in 6 years he signs a 8-year, $250 million deal. So when you combine the two, it'll be $350, and it'll look similar to the others, but he doesn't have to wait to get paid now. So good for him, man. Really good deal. I'm fired up for him. That's awesome. Let's see. Jason Johnston, good morning. Matthew Rogelio. Hey, Jesse Mapes. Alan Dar, good morning. Chad Dupuy, Belmont with the win. Picked it, man. My bracket challenge. Mama Scone today. I need to confirm with her a time. Glad you said that. I picked Belmont to win last night. I picked Belmont to beat Maryland as well. That's probably now a bit of a trendy pick, but Belmont's the number 2 scoring team in the country. They can flat out score. If you ever earn an, I might have said this on the Locked On podcast, I don't remember, but if you ever earn an at-large as a mid-major, you have my attention. 26-5 has my attention. Zero. You can watch Zero when Mommy gets home.
Oh, wow.
After your nap tonight. All right. So I think Belmont beats Maryland. Maryland slumped a bit. I don't think Maryland's a great team this year. I think Belmont will win that game. Travel kind of sucks, right? I mean, you got to play on a Tuesday, then you fly to Jacksonville. You practice today in Jacksonville, and you got to play Thursday. So the schedule's a little tough, but we've seen it before, man. In, what year was that? 2011? What year did Shaka Smart bring VCU to the Final Four? I think it was 11. I mean, they went from first 4 to Final Four. Remember that? They were in the first 4, the play-in games, and they made it to the Final Four. So sometimes, man, you ride a heater and you make a run. I think LSU beats Yale, Belmont beats Maryland, LSU beats Belmont, and goes to Sweet 16, and then loses to Michigan State. That's what I have in my bracket. Let's see, Justin Reyes. Thanks much for the appreciated break from T-Bob each morning. You're welcome. 0. Ronnie Dugas, good morning. Hey, Dawn, good morning. Kenneth Clark, good morning. Carlton Cisco, good morning from Houston. What you doing over there, man? We were there yesterday, or Monday. Josh Long, Scone, it's hump day. It is, in fact. Stephen Miller, Belmont LSU second round lock. I got it in my bracket. Grant Vayon, John Corbella. What's up, John? John, man, a lot of people have been giving you shout-outs, man, after you came on my show. I've had people asking me for Corbello for Heisman T-shirts. Hey man, could you give me Corbello? I'm like, you know what, John? If your guy still has the graphics for it, it might be worth printing a few, man. Got a lot of people who are asking me. Had a guy yesterday ask me for a Corbello for Heisman shirt. He said my wife, I grew at LSU at the same time. We bonded during those years, like when we met, and she'd love it. Her birthday's April 3rd. Can you give me a shirt? I'm like, hey, bro, I don't have any of them. So, John, if you want to print some up, man, let me know. Put me in touch with your guy. We'll get that done. Now you can actually collect some cash on it. Brian Casebone, good morning. Hey, Shelly Melanson, what's up, man? Everett Email, Sean Pumphrey, David Billio. Good morning. Any chance you're going to be at the baseball game tonight? David, I'm not going to be at the baseball game tonight, man. We might make one midweek game this year just to bring Drew. The tough part is, I get off air at 6, and the games are at 6:30. Drew usually wakes up from his nap around 6:15, and so logistically, it's not super easy. Erica would have to get him up, get him dressed, and get him out to the park. I'd have to get from Guarantee to the park. It's just not an easy thing to do logistically. If they play like on a Friday at 7, like that's probably our best chance to get to a game. That or like a Sunday, noon game. But we'd have to leave early because Drew usually goes down for his nap around 3:30. But anyway, long way of answering your questions. You probably didn't need to know all that, David. But no, I won't be there. I do need to run down my guy Seth Thibodeau, get him on AFR today. Ben Guillat. Seth is Nicholls head baseball coach. Ben Guillat, I always get him on whenever they come to Benders. 0? 0. You gonna see 0 when mommy comes home? I love you. I love you. Your hands are cold. Why are your hands cold?
Inside.
Well, you are inside, but your hands shouldn't be cold inside. Hey, is Daddy drinking coffee?
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was very polite. Thank you. Let's see. Charlie Cavell, speculate on the whole situation at LSU. Oliva, F. King, Fargus, Wade, etc. Charlie, I don't like to speculate, man. I like to have opinions based on information I have. And I'll tell you why. Somebody tweeted me this morning, and it was a screen grab of a Facebook post from 2 years ago when LSU hired Will Wade. And it was my opinion on the Wade hire. And when you do what I do, here it is, Lonnie Terrell. I'll read you my Facebook post from March 20th, 2017. Oh my God, 2 years ago. When Wade was 9:59 p.m. As we discussed today on AFR, the Will Wade hire is a high-risk, high-reward move. Let's hope he's more Billy Donovan and less Darren Horn. All indications are he desperately wanted the LSU job and will bring passion and energy. The question is if he can win and sustain a winning culture. I hope LSU gives him time because LSU today is not close to the tourney. Here's hoping Will Wade brings back the Def Dome. Those days were fun and can be again. So I posted that 2 years ago when they hired Will Wade. That guy held on to that post for 2 years and reposted it today. So with something as serious as talking about like administration and turnover and all this stuff, I'm not going to speculate on that. I've talked plenty about things that I know, like for example, Joe Oliva's contract, which is set to expire. He's essentially a lame duck administrator. I mentioned that the board was split. Consider that the former Board of Supervisors chairman is Richard Lipsey, who's the guy who's now getting pub because he's very publicly trying to force Joe Oliva out and King Alexander. Well, Richard was doing that when he was on the board. He just couldn't get the votes. There were some guys that were super loyal to Skip that were upset that Joe kind of forced him out, that emeritus role and kind of got, disassociated him. And the Skip loyalists wanted to get Joe out. I mean, that I know. And you're seeing it now because Richard Lipsey is publicly doing this now. But he didn't have the votes to do it when he was on the board. You think he's going to get it done now? It's just, anyway. So I don't know what's going to happen with all that, man. I know the governor of the state supported the decision to suspend Will Wade. So is he really going to now undermine the president of the board. I don't know, man. I don't know. But what I do know is that LSU wants Will Wade to be their coach. Otherwise, they would have fired him already. And they're willing to wait it out through this federal trial. I just think undoing what's been done or redoing what's been undone is a super hard ask at this point. And the thing about Nikki Fargas is they just gave her a contract extension in December. Like, she just got a contract extension. I mean, you just gave her an extension, now you're going to fire her? That's why I always say, every single time we talk about contracts, 100% of the time, I always say, what's the buyout? It's the first thing I say, what's the buyout? Because you're in a situation like this with Nikki Fargas. You want to keep her, and you got to extend her contract? Cool, but what if they decline an NIT invite, they suck, and you're ready to get rid of her, and now you can't because you're saddled with this contract? Well, we shouldn't have given her a contract. True. Or we should have given a better deal for you. Yeah, it's got indecisive leadership, man. It's sad. University on down. Tyler Landry, do you think the Tigers could make a good run of the tournament even without Wade? Of course. Absolutely they can. I mean, it's like, what are you willing to predict is one question. Can they is another. But man, LSU beat Kentucky. They beat Tennessee. They won 26 games. They won the SEC. They've got pros on their roster. I mean, can they beat Yale? Yes. Can they beat Maryland? Yes. Can they beat Belmont? Yes. Could they go toe-to-toe with me? Is Michigan State light years ahead of Kentucky or Tennessee? I don't think so. Could LSU beat them? Sure. I mean, so, can they go on a run? Absolutely they can go on a run. And what if Michigan State gets bounced? And then you're in the Elite Eight, or in the Sweet 16, you're not facing Michigan State. Yeah, who knows, man? What if Mississippi State upsets Duke? Yeah, it's the tournament, man. Crazy stuff happens. It's one of the uncertainty about the tournament, the unpredictability of the tournament is one of the things, maybe the primary thing, which makes it so fun. I don't think it's the best way to crown a champion. It's the most fun way for sure. Let's see. Jay Rochelle, what's up, bro? If y'all would please hit the share button if you've not yet done so. And as always, super duper shout out to our friends at Brock Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Happy to endorse them. They're awesome people. We've been there a bunch, man. I mean, I've seen, when I jacked up my neck, I went and saw Faraci. Seen Chip Bankston for my knee, for my back. See, golly, they're all running together. Who did I see for my Achilles? I can't remember if that was Chip also, if that was maybe Iserlo. Does Iserlo do him? I don't remember. I've over the year, even before I started endorsing Brock, I've been there so many times. All right, Richie Burke, Tigers, baseball, making that Monet for sure. Blaine Allen, what's up, man? Aaron Sanders, good morning. What do you think about Belmont? Picked Belmont to win yesterday, and I picked Belmont to beat Maryland. That's in my bracket and all my, I fill out one bracket across all the pools that I enter. I fill out one bracket. And I had Belmont winning last night against Temple, and I have them beating Maryland. Then I have LSU beating Belmont, and then LSU losing to Michigan State in the Sweet 16. Hey, Aunt Mary, good morning. Jean-Pierre Pelot. I know I'm mispronouncing. I do every day. Pelot. You've told me before, man. I'm sorry. I need to write it down phonetically. Buddy Chasson. Kyler Murray might want to second guess his decision to play baseball. So, Buddy, this is the conversation that Terrio and I had a bunch talking about money. Kyler got $4 million to sign with the A's. If he's the first pick in the draft, he's going to get $10 million. Or, if he's in the top 5 or 6, which I think he will be, he'll get a 8-figure deal. Yeah, he'll get 10, 12, 13 million, somewhere, depending on where he goes. He'll make more money off his NFL signing bonus than he would have off of baseball signing bonus. But the long tail of Major League Baseball has much more potential if you can make it to the show and stay. If he can become an everyday center fielder in Major League Baseball, that hits, He's a 5-tool player playing center field. He's, Mookie Betts. I don't know that he becomes Mookie Betts an MVP, but if he has the potential, then you can sign a 9-figure contract. You can sign a $250 million contract, which you'll never do in football. And by the way, you also maintain your health and you'll play a lot longer. The flip side of it is maybe if he went pro, he'd get that $4 million signing bonus. He'd ride a bus for a few years, never make it to the show, and then top 10 picks. It's not like you're just going to bury a top 10 pick on a bus in AA. Like you're going to fast track him to get him to the show and see if they can do it. You just got too much invested in him. But the other side of it is maybe he becomes an all-pro quarterback and signs a $100 million contract. And he never would have made it in baseball. You never know. Follow your heart, man. Devin Kelly, Ronnie Duga, Michael Moscona, what's up, cuz? Joey DiStefano, Stephen Miller, speaking of shirts, dunking, Tiger shirts are fire. Oh, I saw that. So are those, the team's wearing those, right? Someone must have printed, and if they printed them for the team, like, they've got to have that merchandise available. Let's see. And I do like that throwback logo. I actually like the Louisiana State University spelled out in script, like with the stars on it and everything. That's a Rudy Macklin throwback.
A big truck.
A big truck? Did you see a big truck outside? Did you close us in the office? Why'd you do that? Okay. All right. Who? Valerie? You can see Valerie today? Huh? Okay. Zero. That's good that you learned zero, Drew. Now you're stuck. Can you get it? Okay, Dad, I'll help. So, Daddy, help. Okay, Daddy, help. There you go. All right. Have a good day, Drew. We'll see you. Bye. All right. Back to the show. Dad's show. Morning Scone, presented by Brock. Darren Aguilar, good morning, Matt. Did you see Mangum had 5 hits last night? Antoine better have some monster games or he'll fall way behind. I did, Darren. So there's a Twitter account. I've retweeted him a bunch if y'all are on Twitter. It's chasing the hits record. I think it's like at Mangum's Chase. It's a Mississippi State fan who started the Twitter account. And I started retweeting him. And so he's morphed it into a Duplantis Mangum account. And every day he updates the hits. So I was looking at that last night, that Mangum had a 5-hit night. And also they play again tonight. So right now, if you're scoring at home, Antoine Duplantis and Jake Mangum are chasing Eddie Furness's SEC hits record, which is 352. Duplantis is at 295, so he's 57 away from tying Furness, 58 away from breaking. Jake Mangum's now at 311. So Mangum is 16 hits ahead of Duplantis right now. Antoine needs to get going. Now, Mangum has played 2 additional games, and he did start, I think he started the season, hang on, okay, here you go. Mangum started the season at 275. Duplantis started the season at 268. So Mangum started the season 7 ahead of Duplantis. He's gained 9 hits on Duplantis since the start of the season. Now, he's played 2 extra games, but I've maintained this all along. For Antoine to break that record, what you have to have happen is LSU needs to make a deep run in Omaha, and Mississippi State needs to go like 2-2 in a regional. So if you're Duplantis, you'll end up playing 3 or 4 games in a regional, hopefully 3. 2 or 3 games in a super regional, and then you'd hope 5 or 6 games in Omaha. So you're probably playing like an additional 8 to 10 games than Duplantis. And Mangum, if you get those extra 8 to 10 games, that's how you can make up the difference. I think that's just his only way to do it, because Mangum's too good, and you're not, I don't think Mangum becomes a 250 hitter. But days like today, this is when Duplantis kind of needs to feast on some bad pitching like Mangum did. He had 5 hits last night in a midweek. Like, Antoine needs to get a few of those. Let's see. What time we getting to be here? 7:54. By the way, a Riot podcast today with Terry. I'm fired up that is today because we'll spend the whole first segment of the podcast talking about Bregman's deal. We'll go deep dive into it, why it makes sense, all that stuff, all the particulars. We get all into that with Terrio today on the Riot podcast, noon on the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page. Tanner Bork, what's up? Let's see. Ben Clark, good morning. You're fine. Good morning, Matt and Drew. Good morning. Hey, can you say good morning?
Good morning.
Good morning. It's actually sounding more like Morgan. Hey, what? Can you use your words, please? Thank you. I like your Donald Duck socks. He gone. Carlton Cisco. Travel for work in hospitals in Texas and Louisiana. I've worn and Scone wherever I travel. Great job, Matt and Drew. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Texas Medical Center is impressive, man. Every time we go, I'm always in awe of the Texas Medical Center in Houston. It's just, I mean, their hospital system is bigger than our downtown. It's crazy. Dale Broussard, Adam Tower, Brian Arsenault, Darren Pellegrin. What's up, y'all? Let's see. Charlie Cavell, did you see where Chuck Person pled guilty? Yeah, it's smart. You cooperate. I think he'll probably get months. That seems what the reports are, months in jail. I mean, at some point they got a paper trail. They nail you. Man, just throw yourself on the mercy of the court. Go do 3 to 6 months in jail. Go on with the rest of your life, man. I know, easy for me to say. Unless if you're Robert Kraft, in which case you throw a bunch of money at the situation and you get away scot-free. Neil Ripley, all I know is Joe must go. Elevator.
A page.
That's true. You do have to be patient when you ride the elevator. Thank you. That's very good, Drew. Brian Arsenault, I think LSU would be better off paying double without a buyout clause. I think a lot of schools would do that, but the coach wouldn't do that. The coach would want protection. That's like anybody. I mean, you'd want some type of severance package if you ever got fired. You want protections. I mean, I have a contract where I have your protections there, and if they were to fire me, they'd owe me the life of my contract, and Anyway, let's see, David. Talent-wise, I think they can play with Michigan State. I believe the difference will be coaching. Izzo's a good coach. I agree with that. I always pick Michigan State to make a deep run because of Izzo. I just do. That's one of my. When Bobby Knight was coaching at Indiana and I was filling out brackets, I'd always pick Indiana in the Sweet 16 or further. I just always did. Kirk Taylor, how'd you get so banged up, Matt? Football and running marathons. So my marathon plaques are up there. Great accomplishments, but just devastating. Just devastating to your body, to put your body through that. And it's not even so much just the race, the 26.2, but when you think about training, when you're running, 30 to 60 miles a week, and for a guy my size, the compression with every step you take, the impact on your feet, your joints, your knees, your hip, your back, the compression on your spine, your neck, like to do that, was just devastating to my knees and my feet. My feet, my Achilles, my knees crack, pop all the time. It's bad, man. It is. And then football, from being an offensive lineman, hitting so much, like hands, shoulders, all the compression on my joints, my shoulders are all jacked up. I can barely do overhead presses. It's what I think, man. And so granted, I'm not a great physical specimen, obviously. I'm not one of these guys that's an elite athlete that was able to go play in the NFL. But I think about guys who, I didn't play past 18, football, and my shoulders are jacked up. What about guys that go play, like Kevin Mawai? You go play 15 years in the NFL? You spent 40 years of your life just with massive humans. I can't even imagine. Anyway. Let's see. Dusty Revere. The post from Brock about pitch count was great. All youngsters should follow that pitch count. Good point. Thank you, Dusty. I appreciate you mentioned that. So Alden Cartwright sent that to me, or he posted it, and he texted it to me. I said, you need to post that publicly, because he had it just in a group, a Facebook group for for travel ball or something. I was like, you need to post that publicly. So it's Dr. Mark Field, who's been the LSU baseball team physician since '97. Anyway, he wrote basically a schedule for arm care for young pitchers. So if you have a kid or a grandkid or a nephew, whatever, that plays baseball and you're worried about, or not worried, concerned about their arm care, you should go follow like how many pitches, how much rest, age, all that stuff. Go check that out. Brock has their most loyal patient for sure. Oh, man. Any administrative changes made today? I doubt it, Andrew. I saw that tweet everybody's talking about, but the thing I'll ask you to consider, man. So many people asked me yesterday, the bench or what? What's the bench? Does anybody even know what that is? I have no idea what that is. You always got to consider the source. If the guys and gals who cover LSU on a daily basis don't have that information, it may be not existing in that world. It may not make sense, but I'm telling you, like, to do the job of being a daily beat reporter, you cultivate sources to like relationships within the athletic administration, within programs, because you've got to get that information. That's how you report information. And that's just who does the best job of getting people to trust them to give them sensitive information. They go and break that information. Like, no, if something at the bench, whatever, if they have something that every other reputable news outlet doesn't have, then it ain't real. It's some dope whose buddy is the janitor at the law building, and they said, hey, I heard this is all, like, sources. Kick rocks, man. Like, that annoys that. And I wouldn't even, and I'd never mentioned it on air. I didn't engage with the tweet. I didn't mention it on AFR, because if I do, then it brings more attention to something that needs to just die. Like, I'm telling you flatly, if Joe Oliva or King Alexander were being fired today, I would already know about it. I would, like, something like that doesn't just happen and nobody knows. Like, we would all know about it. We would. Anyway. So, no, there's no administrative changes coming today. Trivia Carter, what's up, dude? EJ Camber, good morning, Matt. Came in late. Sorry if you talked about it. Who's pitching for LSU? I have not yet. Marceau's pitching tonight. So, Maneri said yesterday Marceau could have thrown on Sunday, had a little soreness, so they just held him out because they didn't need him. So, he'll pitch today. Inside. Stephen Miller, youth coaches should push control of fastballs and developing a changeup rather than throwing curveballs at 12. I agree with that completely. The only time we were allowed, when I was pitching, the only time we were allowed to throw curveballs was there were some tournaments that allowed it, but none of the youth leagues I played that you couldn't throw a curveball. And I pitched. Happy birthday. Inside. Mommy's car. You can go for a ride in Mommy's car later? I'll take you for a ride in Mommy's car tonight after Mommy comes home. We'll go anywhere you want. We can go wherever you like. Yeah. Stacks on deck, Patron on ice. You can pop bottles all night, and baby, you could have whatever you like. Zero. All right. Let's see, a few more. Darren Straub. I heard F. King Alexander and Oliva were let go yesterday. If the university president and athletic director had been fired, don't you think it would be public news at this point? Like, I'll be patient with this, okay? If Joe Oliva got fired, all right, put it to you, if you got fired at your job, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to tell people. You're going to call your wife, hey, got fired. Call your mom, call your dad, whoever, call your realtor, sell your, whatever, right? And then it spreads. You're going to go post it on Facebook or something. Like, if Joe Oliva got fired, people would know about it. It's not like it would have been this covert operator walks into a building, gets fired, and then doesn't tell anybody, and nobody knows. Like, those decisions are made at a level so elevated that, like, we would all know. The fact that you got the former chairman of the board of supervisors writing blog posts calling for people to be fired, you think anybody keeps anything a secret in this state? Ben Giat. Being a Nicholls alum, I'll take a midweek loss for the Tigers. Well, if it helps you, that's fine. And I like Seth Thibodeau a ton, so I pull for his program. And I don't care about midweek games. So, Vashawn Jones, what's up, dude? Eric Hart, good morning, buddy. Charlie Gale, good morning. Craig Savoy, Bregman's deal sets him up for free agent availability at 27. That's not true. Bregman's 24. So he's under contract for the next 6 years. This plus the 5 he signed, that brings him to 30. What? Zero. So Bregman's 24 right now. He would have been a free agent at 27 had he stayed on this contract, and he would have gone through his arbitration years. But this wipes out his arbitration years and his first 2 years of free agency, so he will be a free agent at 30. Again, I guess he will not have gone through free agency yet, but he'll still get a 9-figure deal then. Carson Bethurn, talking football. Biggest loss for us on transfers, Netherly, from Pierre Point. I appreciate that, Carson. No, not Netherly. I think the biggest loss in the transfers are the defensive linemen, Davin Cotton and Dominic Livingston. And I don't know that Netherly wasn't going to play much. The defensive lineman would have been part of the rotation, but next year in 2020, especially Cotton, when you lose Lawrence and Fehoko after this year, Cotton would have been a big player in 2020. That's the big one. For this year, kind of inconsequential. But for next year, it's big. Justin Beard, good morning. Megan Hurst, good morning. What marathons did you run? I ran a Marine Corps Marathon in D.C. and the New York City Marathon. So those are my two. Two good ones to run.
Pete.
What, Pete? Oh, you want Pete? Okay. Let's see. Well, thank you for asking, Drew. That was very good and very patient of you. Let's see. Carrie Hughes, what's up? Sam Dixon, what's up? Phil Brady, what's up? Terry Richard, good morning, everybody. We heard one prominent booster would like to fire the entire F. King leadership. Sam, everybody's heard. I just told you that Richard Lipsy wrote a very public blog post. Richard Lipsy's one of the richest guys in Baton Rouge. Okay, like I'll explain this to you. I will do this as patiently as I can. Okay, and I will explain this. All right. Richard Lipsy is one of the richest men in Baton Rouge. He's the former president of the Board of Supervisors. Okay. And wait, did it end? One of the richest guys in Baton Rouge is giving a ton of money to LSU athletics and to the university, and he tried, when he was the president of the board, to get enough support to fire Joe Lee. Okay. Was unable to do it. Richard Lipsy's good friends with Skip. He even wrote in his blog post that he would want Skip back on an interim basis as the AD, fire Joe, bring Skip on an interim basis till you go use a national search to go find somebody. That's not a unique thought from Richard, that it just happened like now. He was trying to do that when he was the president of the board, but the board termed off. He termed off this past summer when John Bell Edwards' new appointees termed onto the Board of Supervisors. Richard Lipsy is not a man who lives on an island. He's the only person with wealth that wants the administration turned over. There's a lot of people with money that want the administration gone. The flip side of it is, the reason Joe Lee still has a job is because Lipsy couldn't get enough support before he termed off in July or in the summer to make a move on Joe. So, yeah, it's not one prominent booster. There's a lot of prominent boosters that would like to move. But there's also prominent boosters that like Joe and like King. And the governor of the state appointed, have appointed these board members. And it's strange bedfellows, but that's Louisiana. So you have a tug of war, which you've had for a while, which is why you have a lame duck athletic director and a fan base that's turned on the administration and continues to, yet it's just status quo. So it's not at least one prominent booster. I mean, one of the most prominent is Richard Lipsy, who has very publicly said that he wants him gone. I mean, he's not existing in a world, a reality all his own. But the problem is, if when you are actually the president of the board of supervisors and you couldn't get it done. Like, now that you don't have a vote, how can you get, you know what I mean? Anyway. Megan, cool. Doing New York this year. Marine Corps is a beast. Marine Corps was fun. New York was awesome, too. They were both awesome. Both awesome. Does it feel like Antoine is pressing a bit, trying to keep up with Mangum? I don't think so, Irfan. I just think you're seeing better pitching in the SEC now. I just logged on. Yeah, I was about Lip C. Just couldn't pass up cheap F King joke opportunity. Okay, we're at the end. Congrats to Bregman on getting paid. Riot podcast today at noon. AFR today. I gotta knock out a Locked On LSU podcast as well, so I gotta get going. Y'all have an awesome day. Please like the Brock page, which is tagged in this post. Again, if y'all got any need for an orthopedist, elbow pain, feet, ankle injuries, you break your leg, hand or wrist injuries, they can take care of you. Shoulder, spine, neck, they've taken care of me. They can do the same for you at Brock. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Y'all have an awesome day. You want to say goodbye, Drew? You want to say bye?
Bye.
Tell everybody bye. Say have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. All right. See ya.